All right, so some quiet conditions across the area after some rain yesterday. Cold front came through, dropped the temperatures, and really dropped the humidity levels. That's gone. You don't even feel any of that out there. And a gorgeous Monday night. 72 in Champaign, 74 in Mattoon. Effingham, you can see it live updating on your screen. Decatur as well. And the warmest reading really fine. It's over in Paris at 76 right now. Quickly, that sun sets here in less than an hour. That temperature is going to drop. I'm telling you, the 50s by 10 o'clock, even cooler by tomorrow morning. Could some areas actually see the 40s? We'll show you that coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
A play fight turned bloody, hurting one student. Tonight, parents plan to bring their concerns to the school board here in Champaign.
There were kids sitting on the floor. I think were kids maybe sitting on top of each other's laps.
It was supposed to be a fun field trip. Why parents are now saying the students were put in danger.
A weekend of gun violence ends in 2 deaths. What neighbors are doing to try and stop it.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
Frustrated parents are expected to show up at the Champaign School Board meeting tonight. 2 separate problems last week are bringing them through the doors. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. In one, a student was cut during what the district says was a play fight at Dr. Howard Elementary School. The other had kids sitting on the floor in a school bus on the way to a field trip. We have team coverage tonight for you. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is live at the meeting. Miranda Meister is with us here. First to Jennifer. You've spoken to the family of the girl who was hurt and other parents. What do they want to happen now?
And Jennifer, parents who plan to show up at the meeting tonight want reassurance from the school district that this won't happen again. The student has more than a dozen stitches and hasn't been back to school since she was cut on a bathroom stall on Monday. Dozens came to the PTA meeting last week to find out what the school would do to prevent future accidents or violence. District representatives at that meeting told parents there was a lapse in school policy. It's a rule that only 2 students are allowed in a bathroom at a time, and they're supposed to be supervised. Parents were also upset about what they called a lack of information the district released in a timely manner. The principal said he was open to creating a task force to address the problem and come up with solutions. The family of the girl who was hurt said they would be talking to a lawyer to make sure nothing has been missed. While parents said they plan to show up at the meeting tonight, this is not an agenda item for the school board at this meeting, so it's unclear if they plan to address this at all. For now, live in Champaign, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, we'll hear from you in our later newscast. Thank you. Now, police finished the investigation of this on Friday. They say there was no weapon, and they do not believe Boleyn was involved. Now to issue number 2. Some parents of students at Franklin STEAM Academy are frustrated with the bus system.
That's right. Last week during a field trip, some kids were barely on a seat. Others were on the floor. We continue our team coverage now. WCIA 3's Miranda Meister is here. Miranda, you reached out to the district about this. What happened?
Paul, they said they are, quote, proactively addressing the matter to ensure the continued safety of students riding school buses on field trips. But a mom whose son was on that bus say that the adults involved should be ashamed this happened. When Lakishma Monroe's 6th grader came home and told her about the bus ride to their field trip, she didn't think much of it at first until someone showed her these pictures.
Were kids sitting on the floor. I think were kids maybe sitting on top of each other's laps. And I was just a little worried about that.
She said it took her a second to realize what was happening. She could see her son sitting on the edge of the seat and other students sitting on the floor around him. In a statement, the district says, quote, Unit 4 is aware of the photos circulating on social media and is proactively addressing the matter to ensure the continued safety of students riding school buses on field trips. This appears to have been an isolated occurrence. But some parents are worried that this happened even once.
Only because I'm kind of one of those people that think about the worst first and then the best.
The district goes on to say, quote, for middle school field trips, the district standard is 3 students per seat. On this trip, students chose to sit on the floor rather than 3 to a seat. This should not have occurred. The Transportation Department is reminding bus drivers that all students must be seated before the bus proceeds. The principal is reminding field trip chaperones and school staff members of this procedure as well. Monroe says she wishes they would have reached out to the parents for help.
Maybe some parents could have helped chauffeur, the kids around if the buses weren't capable of holding all those kids. Them saying, hey, we have a packed bus. Can somebody help? I mean, easier said than done, yeah, but it wouldn't have hurt to reach out.
Monroe says she's at a crossroads because she wants her son to participate in school activities like field trips, but she wants him to be safe. Paul?
Yeah, certainly safety first. Miranda, thanks. The district continues to say, quote, parents who have concerns about transportation or other issues are encouraged to contact school or district staff directly. The safety of students and staff members remains a high priority for Unit 4. Voices being heard. That's also the goal in Decatur as we speak.
People there are tired of the violence, and there was a lot of it this weekend. 5 shootings, 2 people dead, 1 a homicide, 1 possibly an accident. Now, there's a meeting to talk about solutions happening right now. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is outside. So, Jamie, did a lot of people show up?
Dozens of people are here, and this front parking lot is completely filled with cars. And this is more than just a meeting. They're getting together to talk about what they're calling a strategic movement session, to not just talk about what can get done, but to actually create a plan to start creating change, including stopping violence. Several shootings happened over the weekend. The first shooting was Saturday night about 9. A 38-year-old man was seriously hurt. The next, around 1 a.m. Sunday, a 16-year-old was shot in the leg on Maffitt Street. The third, about an hour later, on North Morgan near Garfield. A home was hit at least 5 times by bullets. No one was inside. Corey Laster died in the 4th shooting. Police are investigating it as a homicide. Laster was shot in the back and the leg, and the last is a possible accidental shooting of a 19-year-old. An organizer with the Stop the Violence Project says he's tired of seeing lives lost.
I went to that young man's funeral, I mean, and to see that young guy laying there, it was like trauma. Here's a young man laying there, has lost his life to violence.
A meeting has just started, and they're hoping to come up with answers to stop violence and other issues from happening. They're looking for volunteers to get out in the community to not just address violence, but issues like poverty and education, and coming up with resources to better help the community. Live in Decatur, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jamie, thank you.
A trooper's job is to keep you safe. How one saved a life in a way he never thought possible.
Also tonight.
I thought, gosh, we've got to be on top of this.
It's the latest sport to hit campuses all across the country, where the newest arena to play esports just opened.
And we are finding some really nice weather on this Monday, and a beautiful shot there from our Roofing Dog Eye at Adams Memorial's weather camera. How about 76 for the high? That is a lot closer to what is normal for this time of the year. Cool night ahead. We'll talk about how things warm up, though, again. A little bit of rain in the forecast this week coming up.